Hey guys, welcome back to Clinical Physio. I'm Khalid Maidan, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the latest research on which exercises best activate the glute max or gluteus maximus muscles. And of course, after that research, I'm going to show you some demos so you can include those exercises in your programs. So if you enjoy what you see, we'd always be grateful for you to support the channel by hitting that like button. And if you're ready, let's dive in. So in 2020, Neto et al. Produced their systematic review on which exercises activated the glute max muscles the most. And they found that the step-up exercise and its variations present the highest levels of glute max activity, followed by several loaded exercises and its variations such as deadlifts, hip thrusts, lunges, and squats. I found this super exciting because it gave us some real data on which exercises were most important for when we wanted to produce glute max strengthening for our patients. So let's have a look at some of those in action. So first of all, the exercise that generated the most activation was the humble step up, where we place the working leg on a step and push our body up to drive through that standing leg. Now it's really important to say that the higher the step, the more activation you'll get, as it requires the hip to generate more power to get from more hip flexion to that extended hip position. Neto et al. Found that this exercise generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 169%. In second place, we have the lateral step up. This is where we stand directly to the side of the step, place the working leg on the step, and then drive up and sideways onto that step. Once again, a higher step will be really worth your while, particularly if you can access one higher than mine. Neto et al. Found that this exercise generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 114%. In third place, we have the diagonal step up. Here we stand backwards and to the side of the step and place our working leg in a diagonal direction onto the step before driving upwards. Once again, if you can get a higher step, it will certainly be something that can max out this exercise. Neto et al. Found that this version generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 113%. And then the final step-up variation is the crossover step-up. Here we stand with our working leg away from the step. We then put that working leg across our body onto the step before we drive upwards, lifting the non-working leg straight up. Once again, can you get a higher step? If so, go for it. Neto et al. Found that this exercise generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 104%. So following on from those step-ups, we then move on to the next layer of exercises, including deadlifts, hip thrusts, and squats, and I'd love to show you some of these too. So first, let's show you the traditional deadlift, where as you can see, our individual has the bar on the floor, we have our knees and hips bent, back straight, and then we lift the weight up, extending our hips forward to activate that glute max. Neto et al. Found that this exercise generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 64.5%. But one variation of the deadlift that seemed to deliver the most activation was the hex bar deadlift, where as you can see, the bar we use is in a hexagon shape so that we can stand in the middle of the bar with the weight directly to the side of us, rather than in front. To me, this means we can use more of our posterior chain, including our glutes, rather than if the weight was in front of us like a traditional deadlift. Neto et al. Found that the hex bar generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 88%. Next, I wanted to show you the hip thrust exercise. This is where we are positioned horizontally and we have our back supported with our feet on the floor. We have a weight across our pelvis, where we drop our bottom down before pushing that weight upwards by extending the hips. Neto et al. Found that this exercise generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 82.3%. And finally, I wanted to show you one of the exercises that generated the most activation from the squat varieties, which was a split squat. As you can see here, we have one foot on a chair or a step behind us with the working leg in front. We are then effectively squatting onto that front leg before driving up by extending those hips forwards. Neto et al. Found that this exercise generated an average maximum voluntary contraction of 70%. So if you're watching this video and you haven't seen these exercises before, please do speak to a local healthcare professional so that you can get an idea of how to do these exercises properly before you launch into them. We certainly don't want any injuries on our watch. But otherwise, really hope you've enjoyed this video today, and if you'd like even more from us, check out the description below for details of our Instagram account @clinicalphysio or our website clinicalphysio.com. I'm Khalid Maidan. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you really soon right here on Clinical Physio.